Roth here of RotoGrinders, and today we're going to talk about the RG Discord. If you're not a member, you should be. It is a fantastic community and resource that RotoGrinders provides, and it's easy to join as well. All you have to do is click the Discord icon on RotoGrinders or go to rotogrinders.com/Discord. From there, you'll either sign up if you're new to RG, or if you're already a member, just click the link at the top to go to the sign-in page. Once you've logged into your RG account, you can be taken to Discord to log in there. Once you've connected those accounts, you won't have to leave the server. You can freely close out and reopen Discord without ever having to reconnect. The idea of Discord might be a little bit daunting to you, but it's actually pretty simple to navigate. Whether you're on mobile or desktop, the far left side will show you the Discord servers that you've already joined. Then next to that, you'll see the channels within that Discord. We have both free channels like Chiefs Prop Shop and our daily sport channels. And we also have premium channels like Blender's Game Theory or the Crunch Time channels. Premium members can see the difference between the free and premium channels by looking for a padlock icon next to the premium channel names. We also have a few pointers for new and experienced users alike. If you're having trouble finding a channel, make sure that you haven't collapsed the section that the channel is in. Collapsing a channel will only allow it to appear when there are unread messages in that channel. Also, we find that using the actual Discord program works better than opening it in a browser like Safari or Chrome. Lastly, if you're having trouble with one of our tools, your RotoGrinders account, or any other technical needs, you can hop in our feedback and help section of channels to get help from one of our wonderful support and moderation team members. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out on Twitter @RotoGrinders or email support@rotogrinders.com. See you in Discord.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Crunch Time on this nice Saturday here in upstate New York, at least for me. Hopefully it's nice weather wherever you are. I am Britt Devine, joined today by my man TJ. We got Andre here as well. Andre, you're going to be joining me for this, DraftKings and Fanduel. They got two different slates, but we're going to be back starting a little bit earlier for that DraftKings slate. A little bit later, we'll talk some Fanduel, but we're doing double duty today, man.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. I'm glad to do a show with you. I haven't seen you in a while. Good to probably have you back, and ready to give some people some good plays and win some money tonight.
Yeah, we got sports betting, DFS, everything's going to be covered by me, Andre, and TJ today. TJ, what's going on with you, man?
Ready to talk about today's baseball slate. Got a busy day, wedding planning and doing stuff for my other site, but fun. Ready to have this feels like it's not a break, but it feels like a nice mental break for me, getting to talk about just some fun sports. So I'm ready to dive into it.
Yeah, I want to bring up real quick for some of you guys with the weather. Roth has it. This is funny. He's got it orange. Oh, you can't see that right now, but he changed. Maybe it's supposed to be orange yellow. But that's the Washington-Miami game. I'm not too concerned about it because we're not really targeting the pitchers. At least I'm not for cash games. TJ, in tournaments, are you really looking at either pitcher in that game today?
No, not in particular for me. I think I'm going to be keeping a pretty tight pitching pool today. Right. I'll find some other ways to get different. I'm playing in some pretty small field tournaments, so I'm not overly worried. So it's not interested in the pitching from there for me, and I'm going to be keeping a pretty tight pool today.
All right, so as far as weather-wise, maybe there's a delay. The game could end up dry too in Washington, but I did want to note that one looks like the only one that Roth is really truly concerned about on this slate. And again, it just seems to be maybe a delay if there's a pop-up storm. And if we're playing bats, I'm not really too concerned about that. So I did just want to note that if anyone was wondering about weather at the top. But I want to start with maybe cash games for our sponsor FanDuel. And if you guys are in a legal sports betting state, I know me and Andre, we're both here in New York, and we're just hammering bets in and day out. It's so much fun, and it's a fun way to try to make some money. If you're new to FanDuel. You can get up to a $1,000 risk-free bet. Make sure to check it out. Absolutely have to take advantage of those risk-free bets when you sign up to a new sports book. But as far as DFS goes, Andre, you're going to put on your cash game hat a little bit for me today. And there's 3 guys, and they're all 3 different price points on both sites today. So on FanDuel, where you get 1, we've got Dylan Cease, who if you're on FanDuel, you can go hit the over 6.5 strikeouts is like -130. I got that this morning. I don't know why I was able to get it at that. It should be a lot higher. Dude's on fire. I know it's San Francisco. He's the highest priced, Andre. You've got Logan Webb going up against Chicago, sort of in the mid-tier. And then you've got George Kirby going up against Oakland, and he's handled them twice so far this season, sort of on the lower tier today. Which one would you want to anchor your cash team today if you only had 1?
See, that's a tough one. Cash game today strictly, I would probably say you want to go with whatever what the probably the most popular one is. Which is probably would be a guy like Dylan Cease, I would say would come as most popular pitcher today. But personally, in my cash game line, if I was doing cash, I would want to save a little bit of money, go with George Kirby because he's in a good strikeout matchup against Oakland, and save a little bit of money and spend up on some bats there.
Yeah, you can do. There are some bats like you've got Acuna, but like Trout's not in the most amazing spot, and Soto's not in the most amazing spot. Although Soto against a bad lefty, I don't really care to. That's not really going to bother me if I wanted to use Soto or something like that today. I'm rolling Cease. It was very close between Kirby and Cease for me pre-show. I've gone Cease. I think Webb's the odd man out, at least on FanDuel for me between those 2. If we went over to DraftKings for cash game pitching, it's a little different because they're all underpriced in my opinion today. Cease is 9,500, Webb's 88, and then you've got Kirby down at 7,800. So you can go Kirby and Webb if you wanted to. I've gone with Kirby and Cease on DraftKings. That seems to be my preferred option. Is that where you stand as well?
And that is exactly what I was saying on DK2 as well. Just Cease with the strikeout upside he presents is just so high. Like you said, he's been pitching great and on fire the past couple of games as far as getting 10 plus strikeouts. And then Kirby, like I said, a good matchup before against Oakland. So those definitely would be the 2 pairing I would have, and they're just exceptionally too cheap on DraftKings.
I think Cease is up to like 14K per 9, which is literally unheard of for a starting pitcher. You'll see that out of basically the best relievers, but he's been absolutely insane this year. I like him to anchor both sides today. So that'll bring me to TJ, maybe for tournaments. You got the 3 studs there, TJ. Is there anyone, Tyler Molly, you've got Spencer Strider too. I think people are mixing those in tournaments. You got a favorite of maybe those 5 if you had to take an odd man out or 2? Who would be the 2 guys maybe you wouldn't be interested in for tournaments today?
So I don't think there's anybody I wouldn't be interested in for tournaments. And to me, what I'm more interested in, I think, is just keeping a tight pool of exactly those guys you mentioned. And do we have what does the bat currently project for Aaron Ashby's pitch count? Like, I know he's coming back from an injury. Do we have news on that?
I have not seen anything on that today. I have taken Ashby. I took his strikeout over today on FanDuel today for sure. I think it was like 5.5 or something like that. Might have been 4.5 earlier in the day.
Ashby's another guy I'd add to the list. He's 6,800 on FanDuel, and I like him on both sites for tournaments. For cash and tournaments, I think my top option is Cease, though, just because most of the bats I want to be getting to aren't that expensive. And I just have the salary there. And so I end up getting to Cease. But exactly those guys you mentioned, Cease, Molly, Spencer Strider, Aaron Ashby, those are George Kirby. Those are going to be my top guys for tournaments today. Logan Webb as well, but he'd probably be the last one on the list for me.
There's a couple people in chat where went on. Philly looks good to go. As far as from Roth, from the weather looked fine. The Washington one, I gave you Roth's latest post on that one. So if you're looking for weather, just go check Roth's Twitter. I'm sure he'll be updating that. I don't think he's scheduled to be on the show today, so he can't zoom in or anything like that. Ashby, yeah. What did Corbin do against Pittsburgh? Didn't he have like a bajillion Ks against Pittsburgh? Any lefty that takes the mound against Pittsburgh right now is on my radar to have a big game. So I like that call quite a bit, TJ. And I think a nice little, if you want to throw, you're on FanDuel Sportsbook, take the Brewers to win, the over on the no runs first inning. I love the no runs first inning, and take like 4 Ashby Ks on the alt line. they'd probably get you like plus 150 or 160, something like that. And the Brewers are like minus 210 to win on its own. I think that's a good way to play a little same game parlay today on FanDuel. It's just those like Martin Perez against the Mets. We're not paying for him. If you had to choose Strider or Molly, that's the game. Some people are looking at that game for offense, TJ. People are looking at that game for pitching. Which side's going to win out?
I actually think it's going to be pitching today. And I think I like Strider a little bit better than the two, just based on price. And if Molly wasn't getting any ownership because he was facing Atlanta, I'd be interested. But I mean, people are starting to recognize the strikeout upside against that team. And so when they're on that today, I think I'd rather just hope a little bit for the batting upside. So I don't mind Molly in tournaments. I still like Atlanta in tournaments as well. Obviously not the same team, but I do like getting a Strider. I think a little bit more than his opponent.
All right, that's it for pitching. Anyone else, TJ or Keedy? Some of these guys you really don't want to play too much. So that's probably, I like Ashby, maybe not playing Perez against the Mets. That's probably it, right?
Yeah, I'm with you there. It's going to be a tight pool at pitching for me.
All right, let's talk offense in general. I'll go to Andre first here. What are some teams, right? We got a 9-game slate today. The teams that are going to be owned, we're going to have Milwaukee with some ownership. We're going to have Philadelphia with some ownership, even without Bryce Harper. I think their offense can do pretty well today. Maybe even St. Louis against Gibson, although Gibson, I have seen some people on Gibson today. What are you looking at across the board today? There's a lot of big totals. Should be some high scoring games this afternoon.
Oh yeah, definitely. I expect to be a lot of high scoring today. Good weather spots and hitting weather today. So Philly and Milwaukee are the top two teams, as you mentioned before. I think that's going to be most popular, especially in cash today. And I'm a little bit surprised, honestly, to see Detroit coming in as a third popular, most on FanDuel at least. I like the other side of that game more so of Kansas, going with Kansas City and Atlanta. I think it's another good option too today as well that we have to look at and pay attention to today. As probably one of the top, like I would say within the top definitely 4 stacks I would be considering today.
TJ, what are you looking at across the landscape for offense today?
So my top 3 on the board, I think, are going to end up being Philly, Milwaukee, and Kansas City. Those are the 3 teams I'm targeting the most. I got one team right now that I don't like as a full stack, but I always like as a mini stack, and that's the Angels. And I like just even getting a little bit of Trout and Ohtani in there. But other than that, like, I think like Milwaukee presents a really nice option today to get a little bit different with the back half of that lineup. So we were talking off air about somebody that Andre likes as a betting prop, so I'll throw that to him. But just going like Wong, Urias, and then some of these other guys as well. I think that's the play today.
Yeah, getting the low. I like anyone on that Atlanta or the Milwaukee lineup against Wilson. Wilson has just been atrocious so far this year. Maybe it's because he's faced St. Louis, I think, 3 times. And if you get Paul Goldschmidt, multiple games in a row during that hot streak, you're in trouble. But I don't know. I'm really, really in love with that Milwaukee offense today. So I'm on board with that. And if any of you guys are looking for the best odds, I was trying to explain to Andre pre-show, hey, there's like 4,000 sports books. How do you know which one has the best ones? Best odds, right? You always want to be placing the best odds. You can go get that for free on the Scores and Odds app. You can check across all the books. Home run props. You want to know which site has the best home run prop? Go to Scores and Odds. You want to know where the best money line is on the Brewers today? You can go to Scores and Odds. All that's for free. If you want to get access to all the picks behind the scenes, there's like 10 home run props, a whole bunch of other things. Andre posts big parlays every now and then. You can subscribe to get all the picks from the people here at RotoGrinders. But if you're just trying to get the best lines, make sure to check out Scores and Odds. That will be absolutely free. All right, let's go to maybe some cash game. I'm not really looking too much at catchers on FanDuel today. On DraftKings, Andre, I was maybe looking. I'm pretty much going cheap, right? I earlier in the day I was looking to play Real Muto, but 4,600. I just couldn't squeeze that. I've gone to the mid-tier. You've got Haas hitting cleanup against Bubic. You've got Caratini, Milwaukee for 3,300 if you're looking a little cheaper. Those are probably the guys I'm looking at today for cash games.
Yeah, definitely for sure. Catcher wise, yeah, JC Realmuto would be my top choice personally. I know 4,600 is a expensive price to play, but I like Philly a lot today. I think they're probably like the second highest best stack in my opinion today. So I roll with them, and then Haas I would say 3,800 is a good one. I like the William Contreras play also being a little bit more popular too, and being perfect for cash games as well.
You got a favorite tournament catcher if you're trying to get a little different today, TJ?
My favorite tournament catcher is actually Haas, but I think he's a fun guy to play as a one-off or in a mini stack. Apologies for Shadow, my cat here making a little appearance. But in general, it's a bit of a punt or stack spot to me. I think Real Muto and Haas are going to be my favorite two. And other than that, I'm just going to be filling out whoever is in the rest of them. I'm going to be filling out a stack.
All right, TJ, we've got 30 likes. I want to see them double it to 60 to get the Spidey Bomb play.
I like it. We got
good?
180 people watching. We like to be nice and easy on the weekend. That's only a third. I like that. 60 likes for a Spidey Bomb.
All right, 60 likes. People click the like button on YouTube. We would appreciate it here. Let's go to first base. Rhys Hoskins is on fire, Andre, and he's reasonably priced on both sites. You can play. It's pretty tough between him and Matt Olson today on DraftKings. Personally, I've gone with Hoskins. I don't think I'd fault anybody for playing Olson. Those are probably the two guys I would be eyeing for your cash teams today.
Oh yeah, definitely for sure. DraftKings more so too. It's hard to not honestly want to play one of those guys, but another guy that I think is going to be popular that I don't mind using cash is a guy like Rowdy Tellez. Like you said, anyone from Milwaukee, he's just been on fire lately and has been hitting the ball really, really well. Multiple home runs in this week in most different games. So I look for another, big performance from him and Milwaukee as a whole. So I like getting to him probably more than Olsen, but a little bit less than Rhys.
I told you, any Milwaukee player you can put into your lineup in any format today. I'm okay with that. TJ, what are you looking at? I'm assuming you probably will like Tellez, Olsen, and Hoskins. Is there anyone else to differentiate you think might have a big game?
I like all three of them, and I think literally anybody else you play outside of those three names are going to be like not highly owned today at all. And so because of that, the ones I'd be looking to go to are the guys that regardless of their matchup are just really good hitters. So Paul Goldschmidt, Pete Alonso. If I am going cheap, I think the two people I'd look down to would be Joey Votto or Hunter Dozier. Having said that, I think I'd rather play Dozier in the outfield than at first base today. Yeah. Another interesting guy, it would be Jared Walsh for me. But for the most part, it's Tellez is my favorite and Hoskins is number two.
I'm going to throw a super cheap play. Well, not super cheap, but Cooper for Miami. If you like, that game's got a pretty decent total today. He's 3,100. He's been hitting pretty well. He's hitting second today for the road team. Probably going to get 5 at bats. If you absolutely have to scratch every ounce of salary at the position, he's fine. And I know Hunter Dozier is someone that Andre likes too. What was that home run prop you were putting up on Dozier today?
Yeah.
I also forgot my third favorite play.
Oh, Dozier?
Pasquantino.
Oh, all right.
Okay, we have Hunter Dozier. I love him today. I like to hit a home run. He's one of the two like probably low end guys that like I would pair together in a parlay to hit a home run today. And just try to make a little bit of money. When we get to the third base, I'll give you the other guy that I like, and I think you guys should pair them today to hit a home run, and I think you can make some good money off both of them.
All right, let's go to second base. FanDuel is pretty easy. You've got the on-fire Javi Baez, who's really started to heat up over the past, couple of weeks. Does this every year. Horrible to start the season, goes bananas as the rest of the season progresses. So he's the play on FanDuel because of price. But at DraftKings, he's the highest priced second baseman. So it's a little tough to use him if you really want. Well, he's not second base. He's shortstop, and he's $6,000. So there's a couple of guys. You've got John Birdie. If you're looking for like you want to hit a single and 2 stolen bases, that gets you there, Andre. That does it for you in cash games. That's almost a home run, and that's basically what he's doing every single game. It seems like right now he's 4K. You've got Colton Wong, another Brewer. Any Brewer in your lineup today works for me. He's hitting fifth. He's 3K. Those are probably the two guys I'm looking at on DK today.
Yeah, I definitely don't mind those guys for sure. Colton Wong is probably my number one, followed by Luis Arias at number two. I like Birdie. I like the Birdie call. But I also do like another guy here that I personally would play in cash as Whit Merrifield going against Brzezinski, I believe is his name, for Detroit. So that's the other guy I would recommend today, especially for cash.
All right, we're up to 51 likes. Get those, get 9 more. TJ will drop the Spidey bomb on you. TJ, second base tournaments. Lots of ways to get different today. There's a lot of good players. I just think for cash, it's a little limited on what you're going to be doing today.
Yeah, Whit Merrifield is one of my favorite options for tournaments, so I'm very happy that Dre mentioned him there. On DraftKings, where Javi's expensive, I think he's a pretty interesting tournament play. On FanDuel, I think he's probably the best fade of the slate. If we're going to get 30% ownership on a guy that strikes out 25+% of the time, I'm interested in not playing him. Colton Wong, I do like as well. Jose Altuve, I think, is interesting for tournaments. Marcus Semien, but Whit Merrifield's going to be my favorite for tournaments. Colton Wong is my favorite higher owned guy, and Baez is going to be my top fade on FanDuel.
All right, let's get to third base. Andre, who would be some good cash game targets for you to look at today?
Austin Riley is going to be the top one for me, followed by my favorite home run call on the slate as a whole, probably just even sports betting in general, and that's Jace Peterson. I know you said anyone in Milwaukee, but literally anyone in Milwaukee. he's like batting in the 8th spot. I know no one's probably going to really play. Well, he should be popular still because anyone from Milwaukee, but on the sports book bet, I think you get like plus 500 right now on the odds for him to home run. I love it today. I love to take him. And yeah, those are like the top two guys I would recommend playing in cash today. But you go with other guys like Alec Baum or Luis Arias, who obviously has third base eligibility, along with Brian Anderson and Birdie.
Yeah, I like Bobby Witt on FanDuel, where he's 3,300. He's pretty expensive on DraftKings. Wasn't able to get him, and Birdie too is he just fits in if you need him, just especially for cash, right? Like how he's doing it, you're going to get points, which certainly always helps for the cash game perspective. In tournaments, where are you going today? Because it's there's some interesting plays I think at third base today, TJ.
So my 3 favorites are going to be Bobby Witt Jr., Jace Peterson, and Alec Boehm. I think like Bobby Witt, we're gonna see him pick up a little bit of ownership on FanDuel where he's nice and cheap. I think we have him projected right now as our highest owned third baseman, but only at 16%. So like that's nothing crazy, nothing we got to worry about. This Kansas City stack though is a team that I'm just interested in as a whole. And Bobby Witt Jr. Might be my favorite one of the bunch. I like Jace Peterson as well. I really like Alec Boehm. Austin Riley as a one-off or as part of a stack is always a good option. 3,400 on FanDuel. He's just been seeing his price go down and down and down. So he's a very strong option as well. Alex Bregman is fine because he's nice and cheap, but those are going to be the top options for me.
Couple more
and sorry, of course, Luis Arias.
Yeah, a couple more likes, people. You get the Spidey bomb. He's be stingy with it. He doesn't give it out if you don't get to 60. Shortstop, Andre. You got Corey Seager on FanDuel. Relatively inexpensive. I think I'd play him over like a Bobby Witt. Witt's a little bit more. Swanson. Seager's just a little bit too cheap on FanDuel. On DraftKings, the position is really strange today. All the big names are super expensive. So I couldn't squeeze in, at least in cash, a Baez, a Seager, a Bobby Witt, a Swanson, or even a Adames. I had to go down. I was looking at like Kyle Farmer. He's 3,700. He's in Great American Ballpark. He's having a reasonably good season. I think he's fine just to save a couple of bucks. After that, it's like no man's land. He's basically the cheapest usable shortstop, and he has the ability to have as big of a game as some of these other ones. And I'd rather play an Acuna or a Hoskins or somebody like that than spend big money at the shortstop position on DK today.
No, I completely get that. That makes a lot of sense because we obviously top play at that position would be like a guy like Willie Adames, which we all love, but Spending down at that point to a guy like him, I think it's a good option. Farmer like him. Rojas is another one. I know he's not that popular, but I don't mind if you run like a Miami stack. I would probably include him in those, and that's really about it. It's not this position unless you're like spending up. It does kind of suck. So that.
If you guys want to start getting your questions in, we'll take them from the RG Discord first in the MLB Crunch Time, and then I'll circle back to YouTube to take all of those. We hit 60 TJ on the nose. Who you got today?
We talked about him at third base, and he is available at short as well. Bobby Witt Jr. is going to be the Spidey bomb today. Spidey loves KC, and so do I. And at short here, I don't mind him, but I'd rather play him at third because weirdly enough, I actually think short's a stronger position today. Javi Baez is picking up a ton of ownership, like we talked about. I like Adames, I like Witt Jr., I like Corey Seager, I like Josh Smith, even Dansby Swanson as a one-off or part of the Atlanta stack. Jeremy Pena is a guy batting second. He's still nice and cheap on FanDuel. So with the heavy Baez chalk, we have lots of really strong options to get off of him today.
All right, Bobby Witt, 10 plus 350 to hit a home run on FanDuel today. So I just put that in for you today, TJ. Hopefully that he goes yard because he's in a couple of my lineups today as well. So I can get on board with that. Outfield, Andre. It's sort of the same guys on the sites for me today. You've got Yelich in the mid tier, Acuna on the high tier, Castellanos in the mid to low tier. If you need someone cheap on FanDuel, you've got like a Vistiel Garcia. He's 2,300 to round out your lineup. Those are sort of the guys I'm looking at today.
Yeah, definitely. Don't mind any of those guys you mentioned. Don't mind even like in cash games. I don't mind even a guy like I don't think we mentioned Juan Soto. Don't mind a guy like him today in cash. Jesse Winker a little bit. I think in cash, I think can work a little bit well today. These are more going to be like one-off plays just because I know they have the upside to hit a home run going against these pitchers and ISOs that they have. And obviously everyone's favorite is going to be Nick Castellanos today overall. His price is just 3,700 on DK and I think 2,800 on FanDuel is like kind of a little bit too cheap for him, I think, and with his upside today.
Yeah, he's like the gimme play on both sides, in my opinion, for cash games. What are you doing? Do you like the chalky players today in the outfield, or if we're spending on Acuna, you've got Trout against Urquidy, you've got Soto lefty, Jordan Alvarez lefty, you've got Ohtani. Do any of these guys really do it for you on the high end today, or are you looking more in the mid tier, TJ?
Otani and Trout are going to be two of my favorite tournament options on the slates. I think Acuna is all right as well. I'm good with the Yelich, Castellanos, and Andrew McCutchen chalk. Those are still three of my favorite options. If you're not playing Cease, I think Jock Peterson is pretty interesting. And then if we're going cheaper, Benintendi and Hunter Dozier are two of my favorite options.
Yeah, I love the Royals today. The bat likes them. I like them. You like them. I think Andre likes them.
Yep.
I don't know if the industry likes them as a whole, but the Royals are, at least on this show, seem like they're popping off on everyone's radar today. Were you going to say something, Andre?
Oh no, just say I love the Royals today as well.
All right. We've got some questions rolling in here. We got about 10 minutes till the show ends. Let's see here. So this is from Sherman Tanks in our Discord for premium subscribers. FanDuel Cash, he wants to know Riley and Schwarber or Bregman and Trout if you had to choose between the two, Andre.
Riley, Schwarber. Well, that's going to be the answer, Riley, Schwarber.
Yeah, I'd take Riley and Schwarber too on that particular one. Beaner wanted to know, TJ, I'll throw this to you, a FanDuel tournament. What about the Cardinals today? Do you like them? And then he wants to know your favorite tournament pitcher today.
I don't love or hate the Cardinals. They're probably like my fifth or sixth favorite stacks of the day. So I'm all for them in tournaments. They got great hitters who are going not very heavily owned today. Not my favorite, but I'm good for it. I still think my favorite pitcher in tournaments is going to be Dylan Cease because there are enough good options that he's not getting crazy concentrated ownership. And most of my favorite hitters are nice and cheap today. So Cease up top, Ashby down low.
All right. Achilles wants to know DraftKings Cash. Do you have any issue with Suzuki as the last man in for catcher? I'm on Caratini. He's 3,300 if you got to save, what is it, just to go down, save $500, it's catcher, man. That's the one spot I'm willing to sacrifice and not really care too much about it. I'm okay with that today, Andre.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely don't mind that option today for sure.
NBA DFS wants to know Fanduel cash, Seager and Hoskins, or Jay Smith and Trout. That is without question the first. Seager and Hoskins
Yeah,
are,
as soon as you said it.
yeah, like that's it for sure. And then Acuna or Trout. I'm on Acuna. I like that ballpark. I like that he's on the road as the leadoff hitter. He should get 5 at bats. So you give me that. I wouldn't fault you for playing Trout. I'm on Acuna. Where do you stand on that, Andre?
I am definitely on Acuna today. I don't mind Trout, but I think Acuna is just in a better matchup today.
It's Trout for me.
BHB wants to know DraftKings cash, Contreras and Witt, or a real Muto and Adames.
Oh, that's tough. Probably the second one.
Second one.
Yeah.
I agree. Very close. I
Cash is
probably would
the
lean the second one if that was my choices there.
Both strong options.
All right, I'm gonna go to YouTube, see if you guys have any questions. Let's just see here. Doug Montgomery wants to know favorite one-off on FanDuel. He's got 4,100. Let's pretend this is a tournament. TJ, who's your favorite bat? 4,100 or less in sort of that price range.
So I fired that one in chat for him actually, and it's for me that one's going to be Pete Alonso or Matt Olson.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, Olson's going to be popular, but Alonso's definitely going under owned, and I know Andre was talking about him pre-show as well. So I can see both of you guys on Alonso today. Let's see here. This is 3v3. So let's see, Wong, Schwarber, and Hoskins, or Altuve, Yelich, and Winker. That is definitely number one for me today. A Brewer and two Phillies certainly takes the cake for me, Andre.
Wong, Schwarber, Hopskater. Who else?
Altuve, Yelich, and Winker.
Yeah, the first one definitely.
FanDuel cash, Dozier or Haas?
See, I'm gonna say Dozier because I like Dozier today a lot more.
Me too.
Will I see you at Grant's wedding? I didn't know. I think I might have saw Grant was getting married. Is he? I don't know.
He's getting married.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Grant. So that might have happened while I was.
I'd love to be at Grant's wedding, but I'm going to be busy covering a few of his shows while he's doing it.
Yep. So congrats to Grant. I've been out of the loop on things for a while, but I don't know if I'm going to be there. I haven't received an invite, so I guess not.
I'm just saying, Britt.
That's a win.
Kirk Dees and Andre are tag teaming to get me a tattoo due to likes we got on the show.
Yeah.
And Dean got something from my wedding registry. Blender got something from my wedding registry. Might be time to step up, man.
All right, I'll send. I mean, Dean came to my wedding, so like he was hanging out. Him, let's see, him, Cardi, and then Dan was actually in the wedding as well for everything. So
I'd honestly love for just like any and all of the RG people would be welcome to come. I don't think anyone wants to come to Canada.
Yeah, well, it's too cold at all times of the year.
When is your wedding?
August 13th.
Oh dang! I'll be in North Carolina already. If I wasn't, I probably would definitely try to come.
That's fair.
You're invited to my wedding too, though. When I have mine next year, hopefully.
Perfect. Heck yes. I'll have to win a tournament first, but then I'll be in.
You know what we need in our Slack is we need like a wedding announcement channel for everyone that's getting married.
There's been a lot in this last like year of engagements and weddings and babies at RG.
Yeah. So I had the baby, and when that happened, I literally didn't do like anything for like 6 weeks. So I was just like completely out of the loop on a lot of stuff.
Dean's swinging mustache in chat. TJ, you need a tattoo of me. If we get to 200 likes, I'll get a tattoo of Dean's mustache.
There's only 164 watching. Did you calculate that in your head ahead of time?
I
did. Maybe some people left and there's like extra likes in there. That is dangerous. You are playing dangerously on that. A couple more questions have rolled into our Discord. BJA Tom wants to know Haas. This is DraftKings cash. Haas and Schwarber Schwarber or Caratini and Acuna. That's number 2 for me, Andre.
I agree.
That is literally what's in my lineup. So I would be lying if I said anything else. Dean's mustache wants everyone to hit the like button. I don't think it's going to get to 200. You're going to be safe, TJ. That's about it. Any final thoughts? Any like bets pop into your head, Andre, that people could jam in these last couple of seconds?
Well, I didn't realize Jordan was in the lineup. I thought he was still going to be out. So that I love him for a home run today, along with Kyle Tucker.
Yeah, coming back. People lefty. No one's going to be thinking about that today.
Nope, no one's going to be thinking about that at all. So I like both of them to hit home runs today in their matchup. I actually just put I had a free bet on Caesars. So I put a little home run parlay together. Reese Hoskins, Jace Peterson, Hunter Dozier, Pete Alonso, and Austin Riley.
All right. I'm gonna throw an underdog bet. This is one I got. You've got basically the best first 5 pitcher in baseball going this year. Does anyone know who that is, at least against the spread? You guys wouldn't believe this if I told you.
On the slate,
Paul Blackburn. I got the Oakland money line in play today, boys.
Woo.
How about that one against? I like Kirby strikeouts and all of that too, but I think Oakland is a reasonably live dog. Blackburn, I think he controlled Seattle in his other, or actually he just had a bad start. So I think like him for the bounce back. He's a really good in that first 5. So if you want to take that first 5 Oakland money line too, you can get that. I think that plays pretty good. He's been really good this year in the first 5. We've reached lock. That's a 4-10 game too. I did that on purpose to make sure you guys could go find that if you wanted it. I don't see any other questions. We answered them all. You didn't get enough likes. There's no tattoo of Dean's mustache.
Nah, I wanted it. It would have looked good. Just a nice white mustache tattoo right here.
Yeah, Chuck knows Blackburn has held most teams. Yeah, I like A's is a nice little money line play if you want a dog.
Blue Jays are on the late DK slate, correct?
Let's see here. So me and Andre will be back for the late slate. FanDuel just has the 3 game, but DraftKings has the 5 game that starts at like 6:05. So if you're tuning in for the late show, where did that go?
It's at 5:30. I think we're doing it at 5:30.
5:45. So we're going to talk DK first, and then we'll talk FanDuel afterwards because the FanDuel is just the late slate.
Okay.
Like the 3.
Keep in mind for when you guys get there, the Toronto lineup just came out. We got a leadoff Biggio today.
Oh wow!
Us.
Look at that. He's gonna be. What's his price? He's got to be dirt cheap, right?
It has to be.
He's been hitting the ball very well, so I know they've started pricing him up on FanDuel. But the last month of Biggio is the same guy from before he got hurt a couple years ago.
Yep.
Why isn't Isaac Paredes hitting like cleanup or like top like 2 or 3 in that lineup every single day? Hits a home run every single day. It seems like absolutely on fire for the Rays. I took the Rays money line. My thought, like I just thought Toronto used a little bit of their bullpen in that first game. So I'm hoping the Rays, as soon as that injury happened and I knew Gossman was out, I hammered the money line on the Rays. It was like plus 122 or something like that. So that's another one I like for the late slate. Anyway, guys, we're just rambling. I could talk bets for hours and hours. Andre, hang out after the show. I'll help you get you some of the best money line odds out there. But anyway, guys, have fun. Make sure to tune back at 5:45. Me and Andre will be back with Will. And if Will's on the show, we're going to have a bajillion prop bets. The show will definitely not be long enough to get all those in with me, Will, and Andre in there, all going ham on bets. But make sure to tune in for that. And DJ, have fun, dude. When your wedding comes around, have fun. Enjoy the little the tattoo you're going to get from Kirk Dees and Andre. And Andre, I'll see you later, dude.
All right. See you guys later.
All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. For Andre and TJ, I'm Britt, and we out you.